What do you think of Andrew Tate?
You separate the art from the artist, right? Like, so I think that there's things that he said that you absolutely have to take into account, and there's other things that you say. I don't understand this idea where just because I like something somebody said, I have to be 100% on board with who the person is. Like, anybody who's ever read any of the Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, you have to be like, wow, this guy made some really good points about technology. And then you don't have to be like, yeah, well, so you like the Unabomber. No. This guy made some good points. Read Osama bin Laden, what he said about the United States of America and why he did 9/11. He wrote a, I don't know what it would be, a treatise on our foreign policy. And Mick, if I show it to you, you're gonna be like, Gerard, did you write this? So am I pro Osama bin Laden? No, I'm not. Right. So there's some things Andrew Tate has said, and he's very worldly. That absolutely makes sense. The corruption in government, people that are allowing themselves to be used as pawns by this propaganda machine. Absolutely. How does he know? Because he created a propaganda machine. Mm-hmm. He knows it works because he did it. Nobody knew who Cobra Tate was a year ago.
Yeah, but you have to ask, who do you want to support? So you can say some of his, thoughts, ideas, whatever are true. Absolutely. I agree with some of them. But is that someone that's worthy of your support to prop up and follow and retweet and be like, this guy is so red pilled. This guy is, Mr. Masculinity. Like, his idea of masculinity. Who was it that said it? I think it was maybe Mark Manson. And he's like, Andrew Tate's idea of masculinity is like a 12-year-old boy's idea of masculinity. It's like hot girls, tons of money, and fast cars. Like, none of that's masculine at all.
Do you not, Mick? Do you agree? Do you think hot girls, fast cars, and tons of money is a bad thing for a man?
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
No, I
let me spin it the way I want to spin it.
I was gonna let her finish. I was gonna let her finish there, because I don't think those things are like the opposite of masculinity. But I'll let you finish.
Well, so then actually Ben Shapiro did a little rebuttal to this, and he was like, masculinity traditionally is supporting your woman, protecting your woman, providing for her, rearing up children, being a member of your community. Those things are inherently masculine, right? Being a leader and protective, not how much can I throw around in a club and how jealous can I make people. That's bogus. I don't know.
I agree with that.
No, that's true.
I don't have any arguments with that.
But I think what happens, and again, not to defend Andrew Tate or whatever, I think there were so few people telling young men who were ambitious and who, you took a Jordan Peterson. He took a Jordan Peterson message and slapped a leather jacket on it and, sat on a Harley, basically, is what he did. He takes this, take control of yourself. You take control of your destiny. It's okay to work. It's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to be aggressive and be able to control that aggression. And I think that there's been enough times where Andrew Tate has broken character that you can tell what he's doing is intentionally inflammatory, right? And if he wasn't intentionally inflammatory,
but don't you
would we be talking about him at all?
But don't you have a responsibility, especially when your platform is so big? So when you're saying things that children are consuming, and you're like, women are property, right? Let me show you how to create an OnlyFans pyramid and lock these bitches out if they don't behave. I own a girl, so she has to give me her profit. You're teaching young boys that that's okay. I don't know. I think that's unacceptable.
Sure. I mean, this is the kind of there's this false binary where you have to say, everything this guy does is bad. I use the example all the time. Hey, I don't want OJ dating my sister, but great running back. I wouldn't hire Michael Jackson as a babysitter, but damn, that motherfucker can sing.
Right, but are you gonna subscribe and again? So it's who do you support? And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of masculine role models out there that are great. Aubrey Marcus is probably one of my favorite examples because he's physically fit, he's strong. I'm pretty sure he used to be a fighter, right? And now, oh no. No, I don't know why.
He was involved with fighters with On It and stuff. He sponsored a lot of fighters.
Oh, but he didn't actually fight.
Yeah, not that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, he's obviously you look at him and you're like, that's a masculine dude, right? He's focuses on his body and his strength, but he's also working on his mind and his spirituality, and he's not afraid to cry. He is for me, a shining example of what a masculine man is, right? It's in touch with all aspects of masculinity, and everyone has feminine energy too, like, right, when he's showing his emotions and he's being vulnerable. That's very powerful. That's strong. That's a great example, but we don't prop him up because he's not inflammatory.
That speaks more towards like our media dynamic and like what gets attention. That goes back to what I was saying. I mean, Andrew Tate probably was saying he was probably having the political discourse and the opinions that he still has to this day 10 years ago. You know, he had these beliefs, but when he was just, you know, geeky little Andrew kickboxing with a weird half British accent, nobody cared. You know, then all of a sudden he puts on the Prada shades and becomes Cobra Tate and, you know, fuck women and get money and I got 18 cars, and all of a sudden people are like, wow, look at this guy, I should listen to him. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's kind of that double standard of the thing that makes you who you are, the thing that made you notable is also the cross that you have to bear. Right? And there's so many people out there that are choosing that methodology, right? Where you could say it was easy street, whatever it is. He said, there's definitely a vein I can exploit here. There's something that I can do. There's a place for these, I hate the term incel or whatever, but there's a place for these people who are not being spoken for. They're not being represented. They're never seen in the media. Somebody has to talk for them and to them. And he slipped right in there. I almost feel like these guys are, you know, they're very vulnerable, man. This is a very vulnerable group of people who are just desperately looking for some sort of validation about their life.